just a little while from now, the president is going to announce his Supreme Court pick to replace Justice Scalia, the open seat that's been open since the passing of the justice. And it looks like, I mean, you know, there are two people that we're told were in Washington, are in Washington. We made sure they were in Washington at the request of the president, and that's Thomas Hardiman and Neil Gorsuch. So what do you know about the two of them, and who would you like to see of the two?
They're both very similar in the sense they're both young men, both under 55 years old. They've both been on the court for a long time, at least 25 years, I imagine. They're both lower appellate judges. Gorsuch is a federal judge in Colorado. Hardiman is a federal judge in Pittsburgh in the Third Circuit, Gorsuch in the 10th. There's a much more known about Gorsuch than Hardiman if you look at their opinions, which I have. Gorsuch has been a strong defender of religious freedom. He was in cases that we've talked about on your show before, the Little Sisters of the Poor and Hobby Lobby. You know, cases where religious employers didn't want to pay for contraceptives even though they're forced to by Obamacare. The other thing about Gorsuch is very interesting is that he's come out as a big critic of the administrative state and has demanded ways for the courts to try to cut it back. Unfortunately, I think Hardiman a little less is known. I think he only really has two outstanding opinions worth looking at. One is he voted to strike down New Jersey's strict limits on open carry permits for firearms. He lost that. He was in dissent. So he seems to have a robust understanding of the Second Amendment right to bear arms. Then the other case, which a little worried me a little bit more, was that he thought Pennsylvania it was okay for unions in Pennsylvania to have, for members of unions to have restrictions and unions themselves on the kind of political donations they could give, which is in conflict with the Citizens United case at the Supreme Court, which tries to lift any of the restrictions on campaign donations.
Right. Oh, it'd be very interesting to see what have you ever seen anything like this before, where two people are, you know, brought to Washington? I don't know. I mean, I like it. It adds to the drama, but you know, it's like a TV show a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, I've never seen anything like it, but nothing about this presidency is the usual routine. I could totally see him doing a Celebrity Apprentice, putting both judges. It's like Judicial Apprentice. Put them both at a table in front of him, like at the last scene of the show, and say, "You're fired."
Right. And it's interesting that in all the Apprentice shows you've watched with Trump, based on your previous statement, you've never agreed with any of the firings until today. I picked that up. Don't think I missed that.